Hey everybody, right here I have the Anker F3000 and I've been testing it with the new Anker Power Saver Kit, and I have a feeling that this type of setup is better than the new plug-and-play solar systems. Now last fall I put out a video about the EcoFlow 1200 watt microinverter and my balcony solar setup, and since I've had a chance to test both of these systems, I do feel there are some advantages to the Anker Power Saver Kit. So after I go through how that system works and how to install it, I want to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of both these systems. So let me give you a quick overview of how the Power Saver Kit works. The Anker smart meter connects into your main breaker box, and it's able to sense how much power your house is consuming. Let's say it's running 1000 watts. Well, with that 1000 watts, it communicates to the power station to backfeed through the bidirectional inlet box 1000 watts to reduce that load completely. So instead of you using 1000 watts from your power company, the 1000 watts is coming from this system. The benefit to this system is you can add on expansion batteries and you can charge this with solar. So with solar and batteries, not only can you have a home backup system, but when you're using it every single day, it can reduce your power bill. Now, if we take a closer look at the screen, you can actually see what's happening. For example, this top number right here is the amount of wattage that it's backfeeding into the grid to offset the current load. And below that, we have the charging input, which is actually coming from a solar array that I have connected up to the power station. Now, what's the peak output of the Anker Power Saver Kit? Well, when it's bundled with the Anker F3000, it can output a total of 1800 watts. So let's say you have a house that's pulling 4000 watts. Well, it's going to reduce that 4000 watt load down to 2200 watts. And if you're running something around 1800 watts or less, it can completely offset that load. So this is an excellent way to drop down your power bill. Now, of course, you can add expansion batteries to this setup. This has dual solar charge controllers with up to 2400 watts input. So it's kind of like having a mini solar power plant in your house. Now, the best news about this is that because this has the Anker smart meter, it knows exactly how much power your house is using, and so it only offsets that load and it never sends excess power back to the grid. So your power company won't ever know that you're using a device like this. Now, everything is visible within the Anker Smart app, so I thought I'd just show you what it looks like. So let's click on the smart meter first. Now, for the total power usage in my house right now, it's 196 watts. Not much is going on. No one's running a microwave or heater or anything like that. So this is kind of the base load. You can see that's all coming from line 1, 196 watts. Well, line 2, you can see where it's going from 0, and then it shows a little bit of wattage, and then 0. And that's because the Anker Power Saver Kit is connected to line 2. So you can see very little power being used on line 2. Now, if we go out of that and into the F3000, you'll get a breakdown of what the F3000 is powering. For example, under output near the bottom of the screen, you can see 472 watts. So that is what wattage would be on line 2, but it's being powered by the F3000. You can see solar input here, the battery state of charge, it's charging up from 94%. And then if you click on that, you can see the expansion battery and also its state of charge and such. So lots of information is here available in the Smart app. So next I wanted to do a live demo of me running some large loads. Well, the Anker Power Saver Kit and the F3000 are powering pretty much 1800 watts. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the screen and the Smart app to show you what's happening. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to see the power station screen. So we're at 93% state of charge. We're almost running 1800 watts, so 1792 watts, and we're charging with about 685 watts of solar. Now, if we go ahead and look at the Anker Smart app under the smart meter, you can see line 1 is very low right now at only 11.7 watts. And then line 2, which is what the Anker Power Saver Kit is connected to, I'm running a 3000 watt load, and you can see that the load is only 1.17 kilowatts. So it's being reduced quite a bit. By how much? Well, let's take a look. You can see it's being reduced by 1790 watts, which also reflects to whatever wattage we're seeing on the screen. If you are running a load on the phase which the F3000 is connected to, you can reduce that load by quite a bit. Now here's another simple example of the Power Saver Kit in action. I had my electric oven turned on, baking some muffins, and if we look at the F3000 screen, you can see that it was offsetting that load by 1800 watts. So now that you guys have a good understanding of how this system works, let's talk about the install. There's kind of two things you need to install: the bidirectional inlet box and the Anker smart meter. Now, they do provide some very detailed instructions on this process. It's definitely not plug and play. There is some modification that needs to happen, and you'll need some electrical experience. So if you don't have electrical experience, you can rely on a local electrician to make the changes. Now, what's nice is they do provide this circuit breaker finder kit in the box. So you can plug this into an outlet, and then you go to your main panel and use this to find what circuit breaker that outlet's connected to. And they do recommend that you connect this up to a branch circuit that doesn't have many large loads. Now, I'd recommend using a dedicated circuit. That's why I'm connected to this one here in the hall, because there's only this outlet on it. And so I know that it's not going to trip the breaker if I'm using this one directly. And that's kind of what they say in their instructions. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through the setup for the Anker smart meter, show you how that's set up. Just be aware that this is a temporary setup because I don't have room to do a full install. Everything's kind of a little bit different than what they'd recommend in the setup, including the bidirectional inlet box, and I'll walk you through that here in a minute. But we'll start with the Anker smart meter. So how does the Anker smart meter tie into your main breaker box, and how does it actually work? Now, in this portion of the video, I'm going to just do a brief breakdown. I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed. I will have a basic wiring diagram after this. So this is the main breaker box. I have the front panel removed so you guys can see all the wiring. Now just keep in mind, this 10 circuit transfer switch is also tied into this, so it looks a little bit more complicated than normal. Now, in order for the smart meter to function properly, it needs to measure the voltage and the amperage. Remember, volts times amps equals watts. So there are two inputs in order to measure the voltage and amperage. Now, first off, the unit comes with 4 of these clamps. 2 of them are designed for line 1 and line 2 input, so phase 1, phase 2, to measure the amperage coming in on each of those. You have 2 additional clamps for the ability to connect up 2 F3000s. Now, I'm only using 1, so I have 1 of the clamps connected to the circuit breaker where the bidirectional meter is attached. Now, in order to measure the voltage, you do have to have voltage input on this unit. You have to connect up line 1, line 2, and neutral. And so line 1, line 2 are connected to their associated breakers, and then I have a neutral wire going to the neutral bus bar. So now that the Anker smart meter can sense the voltage and the amperage, it can then calculate the wattage on each of the phases. For example, when you open the smart app, you can see the wattage for line 1 and the wattage for line 2. Now then what it does is it communicates to the F3000 that wattage and tells the F3000 to backfeed into the phase that it's connected into. Because the F3000 is only connected up to one circuit breaker, it's a 120 volt circuit breaker, it will only backfeed into the phase that it's connected into. That's why they allow you to connect up 2 F3000s, so you could backfeed into both phases. So up on the screen, you're going to see a basic wiring diagram of how the Anker smart meter is installed in your main breaker box. So this is just a representation of a main breaker box, so it's going to be a little bit different for each case, but this is just how it's set up. So coming in from the power company, you have line 1 and line 2 represented by red and black. Now just be aware, these are all going to be black inside your main breaker box, but I've differentiated the colors so you guys can see that there's 2 separate lines in here, and that plays a role in how you install the F3000. Briefly, I mentioned the clamp meters that measure the amperage, and then I also talked about the voltage connections where it measures the voltage of each line and neutral. What you'll want to do is you'll want to decide where you're going to install the F3000 because it matters what side it's on. If you want to backfeed to line 1, then you'll install it on line 1 and it will backfeed to every single one of these black circuit breakers so it can offset the load for those circuits. Now, if you install it on line 2 or represented by one of these red circuit breakers, it will backfeed to all of the red circuit breakers. So that's how it's able to offset the loads in your house. And you can choose one side or the other, or if you happen to purchase 2 F3000s, you would connect one to red and one to black, and it would actually backfeed to both, offsetting the loads on both phases within your main breaker box. So let's just walk through a basic example of how this works in real life. So let's say we're running a 1000 watt heater on this particular circuit breaker, which happens to be on line 1. And so because the F3000 is installed on line 1, it can offset that load. So what happens is this heater is running, and this clamp meter senses 1000 watts coming in from the grid. And it says, hey, we can offset that load. So then the smart meter communicates towards the F3000 to produce 1000 watts with its inverter. So then that 1000 watts comes in on this circuit breaker. Remember, they're both black, so they can be offset. So 1000 watts comes in here, and instead of the 1000 watts being pulled from the grid, it is actually being produced locally with the F3000. And that's how you're able to offset the loads in your house, up to 1800 watts. So if you had 1800 watts of loads on all of these black circuit breakers, then you'd be able to offset those loads with the F3000, essentially making them zero. Now, I just want to give you guys a quick example of what the F3000 won't do. So now I've added this 500 watt load going in on line 2 from this circuit breaker. This is just a 500 watt, editing computer or gaming computer. Now, just be aware, because this is on line 2 and the F3000 bidirectional box is installed on line 1, it is unable to offset the load on this circuit breaker. So 500 watts on line 2 is going to be pulled from the grid. Now, the Anker smart meter will see that. You can see it in the app. It's just there's nothing it can do about it unless you have a second F3000 installed in on line 2. So I just wanted to demonstrate that there is a difference between line 1 and line 2, or phase 1 and phase 2, and they are completely separate. And so with a 120 volt device, you can only backfeed to one side. So if you had to have two F3000s, or you have to design and plan out what side that you want the F3000 connected to. Now let's go through my setup for the bidirectional inlet box. Now this box comes with one cable on the end that goes into the F3000. It locks into place. Then you have a built-in circuit breaker. And then this is designed to be installed directly on an outlet. Now, because I'm using a temporary testing setup, I've kind of improvised that. I have this heavy-duty 12-gauge extension cable that I've cut off the end and wired directly into this box. So it's a little bit easier to use for this setup. It is plug and play, and I do have it plugged into this dedicated branch circuit. Now, I mentioned earlier that I charge the system up using solar panels, and I think that's one of the best ways to save electricity on your power bill is by using affordable solar panels to charge this up. Now, what if you're someone that doesn't want to deal with solar at all? Well, I completely understand that. Luckily, the Power Saver Kit and the F3000 do support time of use settings, meaning that you can charge these batteries with AC input when electricity rates are cheap, typically at night during low usage hours, and then during the day when you have a higher electricity rate, you can actually use this stored capacity to run those loads. Now, Anker does advertise that you can save up to $1,500 a year using this setup, but obviously that is determined on your electricity rates. So if you're somebody that has higher electricity rates, that could definitely be the case. Now, if we check out Anker's website, the Anker Power Saver Kit is on sale right now for $199. I'm not sure how long the sale is going to last, but if you're somebody that already owns the F3000, purchasing this gives you a good opportunity to start dropping your power bill every single day. So hopefully at this point in the video, you have a good understanding of this setup and how it works, how to install it. So next, what I want to do is talk about the advantages and disadvantages of this setup versus a plug-and-play solar setup. Now, up on the screen, you're going to see a comparison between the Anker Power Saver Kit at $199 and the EcoFlow Stream Microinverter at $299. Now, these are the first two units that I've tested. Obviously, there are some other options available, but we're going to be comparing these two for this particular video. Now, starting with the Power Saver Kit, it does require more upfront cost because you have to have the Anker F3000 power station. So keep that in mind. The Stream Microinverter does not require a power station or batteries, so the upfront cost is a lot lower. All you have to do is purchase solar panels for that unit. Now, moving on to the next point, the Anker Power Saver Kit, because it offsets the loads in your house without sending power back to the grid, it doesn't need grid tie approval. Now, as for the Stream Microinverter, it does have the potential to send power back to the grid, so to backfeed, and so it will need approval from your power company, or you'll need to be in a state that has legalized plug-and-play solar devices. Now, moving on to the next line item, the Power Saver Kit has a total output of 1800 watts, and it also accepts up to 2400 watts of solar input. The Stream Microinverter has a peak of 1200 watts output along with 1200 watts solar. So if you want more power and solar availability, the Power Saver Kit does have an advantage there. Next, I think it's important to understand what will happen to both of these devices during a power outage. Now, I will say both of them will automatically shut off and not backfeed when there's a power outage. However, you do have one advantage of the Power Saver Kit because you have the F3000 power station. You can still use that during a power outage when the Stream microinverter is completely disabled. Now moving on to the next line item, is the system expandable or can you grow it? Now if we look at the Power Saver Kit, you can start with one F3000, and then you have the ability to add a second F3000 and also expansion batteries. So you do have the option to expand the system to save on more power. Now for the Stream microinverter, the states that have allowed these plug-and-play systems are typically limited to 1200 watts by law. Now, if you were able to work with your local power company to add more of these, that might be a possibility. But if you're working in a state with plug-and-play systems, it is limited to 1200 watts. And finally, what happens with each of these devices when the sun isn't shining? Well, for the Anker setup, because it has the F3000 batteries and the ability to add expansion batteries, you can actually power loads at night or during adverse weather conditions. Now, when it comes to the Stream microinverter, it only works when the sun is shining and it completely shuts off at night. So pretty interesting to compare both of those devices head to head. Obviously, they have their own use cases and advantages, so you'll have to use the option that works best for you. Now, I did learn a lot in this video. Beforehand, I had no idea what the Power Saver Kit did. Even Anker's video on it didn't do a good job explaining, what it was for and what it did. But now you can tell that you can use the power station as normal, but then if you have the Anker Power Saver Kit, it'll backfeed into your house and reduce your power bill, which is pretty cool. There's not many devices that do that. You guys will have to let me know what you think about this whole setup. I have had some viewers reach out to me in the past and let me know they are using the Power Saver Kit and they're reducing their power bill by quite a bit. So if you are one of those people, make sure you leave a comment down below letting me know how much money you're actually saving. Guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. I will recommend a couple of videos that you can check out. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.